This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Slow down and enjoy the moment. I wonder what it'd be like to close my eyes and give myself permission. If I could lose a year or two, I'd want it.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know that Dr. What's-His-Face guy. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, how are you? Hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods as we are hanging out on this lovely Thursday, February the 26th of 2026. I guess it kind of goes into the combo mode. So yes, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Oh yes, because that's what we do. So anyways, how's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Hopefully some exciting times as things are going down the multiverse of stuff. So anyways, let's talk real quick about some things that are going on right away. We don't have a 2-hour speech to dissect today, so look at the bright side there. But let's talk about what we do here. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of how we go about talking a little bit about this, a little bit about that. So we kind of do a little bit of everything if one can put it in that format. But don't worry, as we take you down the path, we have some professional broadcasters that come in and they start talking right away about the things that are going on inside of our system, because that's kind of what the cool thing is that we get to do. So that's the fun part when it's all said and done. So that will happen. And so we'll talk about safety, we'll talk about the news, and then we'll talk about safety in the news, and then we'll do some level of a main story, because that's just kind of how we go about in regards of doing things. So don't worry about that. And then outside of that whole thing, here's the other aspect. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process in doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging when it's all set and done. So just keep that in mind as we are talking. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is what happens. So there you go when it's all said and done. Anyways, with that being said, I do have some friends hanging out from Feature Story News as they are doing all of their fun stuff, interacting and doing everything along those lines. So as they will come in and talk about what is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, we will sit back for a moment and take a listen to what they have to say. As the people from Feature Story News come in, they will give you the highlights, if one may put it in that way, of everything that is going on and around the world. So that's the good part. That's the cool part. So let's go ahead and get into the news right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Gaitan. The US and Iran will hold crucial talks in Geneva on Thursday. It's the third round of negotiations on a possible nuclear deal and comes amid a massive build-up of US military assets in the region. Ross Cullen reports.
After meeting previously in Oman and once before in Geneva, the US and Iran are returning to Switzerland on Thursday for what are being seen as last-ditch negotiations. The talks come after President Trump warned about Iran's ballistic missiles reaching Europe and claimed Iran had not promised to forego nuclear weapons in his State of the Union speech. But Tehran's foreign minister says Iran will not build a nuclear bomb and wants to use nuclear power for civil energy, and says he also wants to secure a fair and just agreement in the shortest possible time. US negotiators remain hopeful a deal could be agreed, but if not, then Washington may resort to a military strike on Iran from one of the many naval and air force assets it's been assembling in the region in recent weeks.
Also in the Swiss city on Thursday, US and Ukrainian delegations are meeting ahead of another possible round of trilateral peace talks with Russia next month. The meeting comes after Ukraine suffered another heavy overnight barrage from Russian missiles and drones. William Denslow reports from Kyiv.
Air defences in the Ukrainian capital kicked in around 4 a.m, with a 9-storey building damaged, according to the city's mayor. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia fired 420 drones and 39 missiles overnight, impacting several regions. The strikes occurred ahead of a scheduled meeting between the head of Ukraine's Defense Council, Rustem Umerov, and US envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. President Zelensky held a 30-minute call with his US counterpart Donald Trump Wednesday to discuss the key issues for their negotiating teams in Geneva and plans for a possible face-to-face meeting with Russia's leader in the future.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has spurned South Korea's efforts to mend diplomatic relations and pledged to build more nuclear weapons. However, Kim left the door open for discussions with the United States, saying relations could improve if Washington recognises North Korea as a nuclear power. Laura Westbrook reports.
According to state media, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un says Pyongyang has absolutely no business dealing with his nation's most hostile enemy. Pyongyang amended its constitution in 2024 to define South Korea as a hostile state for the first time. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has sought to mend ties, and in response to the latest comments by Kim Jong-un, South Korea said it will continue to pursue its policy of seeking peaceful coexistence with the North. North Korea's Congress of the ruling Workers' Party wrapped with a military parade in the capital Pyongyang. Kim Jong-un said the focus would be on projects to increase the number of nuclear weapons, and prospects for improving relations with the United States rested entirely on Washington's attitude.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today at the possibility of military action by the United States against Iran. As of Wednesday, there were more than 500 combat aircraft from the US and Israeli militaries in the region, with the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, en route to join the USS Lincoln that is already in position. In his State of the Union address, President Trump indicated he is ready to launch an attack, although he didn't explain its purpose or its cause. Could he ignite regime change in Tehran? Former CIA Director David Petraeus doesn't think so.
No, this is a regime that is enormous. It's not just the police, which are very robust. The regime protection forces, essentially, the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, and so forth, they have a besieged militia with national headquarters, provincial, district, municipality, and these are hundreds of thousands, maybe over 1 million, essentially thugs, pipe swingers. They'll shoot the people. And we don't see the cracks yet. There's no Yeltsin figure or other figure in some of these previous situations who steps away from the regime and has the capacity to bring others with him.
He spoke to Foreign Policy magazine. President Trump claimed on Tuesday night that he has not yet heard Iran's government pledge never to develop a nuclear weapon, except Iran's foreign minister did precisely that several hours before the president's speech. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories. The US and Iran are holding crucial talks in Geneva on Thursday amid a massive build-up of US military assets in the region. Also in the Swiss city, US and Ukrainian delegations are meeting ahead of possible trilateral peace talks with Russia. Cuba says its military killed 4 Cuban nationals who entered its waters on a US-registered boat and opened fire on its forces. And North Korea's leader has spurned South Korea's efforts to mend diplomatic relations, pledging to build more nuclear weapons. That's the latest feature story news. Simon Gaitan reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Tickling your tympanic membrane with the music that makes you move.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and talking on this lovely day. Okay, so let's start getting into it right away about some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So take a listen to this one. A Philadelphia guy, because it doesn't even refer to him as a man or a dude or as a person. It says a Philadelphia guy. Anthony Romero woke up after a weekend blizzard in his Honda and turned into a snow globe. Turns out he accidentally triggered the sneaky Honda key fob feature. Hold on to the lock button and the windows all roll down. Yep, not a joke as I say that. And he's like, he hit it while he was snoozing and the key was in his pocket. The problem is that it happened the same night that the winter storm Hernando dumped about 14 inches of snow in Philly. So instead of a dry ride with his brand new rubber mats, Romero got a car full of powder, seats, floor, and everything frosted. He climbed in, rolled the windows up. What do you mean, rolled the windows up? And blasted the heat. And somehow the whole thing dried out. And judging by the internet, he's not alone. Plenty of Honda owners have accidentally aired out their cars overnight thanks to that feature. He didn't just get snow day. He had his car did. So, I mean, just think about it in that particular fashion. So it's kind of one of those weird things. It is a very neat feature if you do have a Honda. God knows I've had plenty of Hondas in the past. In my life, because I thought that there were such great cars before. So, I mean, not that they're bad cars now, just one of those things that I accept on getting so many of them. But yeah, it has a nice little feature. You press the button, then I think you press the button the second time, and then it goes ahead and it rolls everything down for you. So there you go. Had to be careful with tech, like always. That's just kind of the way that it goes about in regards of how we do things. Anyways, let's talk about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's what we do. Mom arrested for attempting to kill daughter's partner to free him from the illusion of life. Yeah, a 54-year-old Florida woman.
Welcome to Florida, WTF.
Sandra Kegley is behind bars after allegedly trying to kill her daughter's boyfriend in Pinellas Park. Police say that the officers responded around 4:30 p.m. on Monday to find her 23-year-old Eric Smith and Kegley's daughter, Kristen Bletter, both with multiple stab wounds and cuts. No, seriously, this is not a joke. Kristen reportedly jumped to protect her boyfriend and got hurt in the process. Thankfully, both injuries were described as non-life-threatening, which is important. And then they were taken to a nearby hospital. Now, there was it veers into science fiction territory. According to the arrest report, Kegley allegedly told authorities that she attacked Smith to free him from the simulation. Claiming that life is an illusion, police arrested her on charges of attempted first-degree murder and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. She's being held in Pinellas County with a bond of $500,000. Yeah, a bond of $500,000. So what do you think here? Because there's some things. There is some things there for sure. But, you know, when you start getting into this portion right here, where we go, allegedly, she told authorities she's attacked him to free him from the simulation, claiming that life is an illusion. You know, that debate's gone on for a long period of time. So that's where it gets interesting. What are you freeing him from? So if you're freeing him from the illusion or freeing her from the illusion, then what happens? I'm just trying to figure it out. Because maybe that's the question that would have a lot more answers if you answered that one.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. So you ready for this one? I hope you are, because this is where it's going to get interesting. A Whataburger. Yes, a Whataburger manager in Paris, Texas. Yeah, Paris, Texas. That's about 100 miles northeast of Dallas. Allegedly went full WWE after a customer, Anthony Williams Neris, that caused a scene, got kicked out, and then came back drunk looking for revenge. According to reports, Anthony was the first who ordered out of the restaurant. He allegedly left but promised to return with the police and clear it out, and he did. Witnesses say that he stormed back in and started throwing punches at the manager when things escalated from "would you like fries with that" to you're getting the whole kitchen. Viral video shows the manager swinging full trash cans and suspects that he was auditioning for Monday Night Raw. Another employee reportedly cracked Anthony in the head with a wire fry basket before the trash can, finishing him. Police later found that Anthony was bleeding in the back of the parking lot. He was arrested and charged with assault causing bodily injury, public intoxication, and criminal mischief. And just keep the streak alive, authorities say that he also flooded jail cells, earning himself another criminal mischief charge. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. So that manager didn't supersize the combo. He supersized the beatdown is what it sounds like. And let's see, that's customer service. That was curb service, if you kind of think about it for a moment. And then he came back for seconds and got taken out with the trash, literally. And nothing says Texas hospitality like a 32-gallon of steel reminder to behave. So think about that for one moment there.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about a few things here before I jump around. So take a listen to this one. An Ohio man says that faith, family, and math and literally a little lottery luck just paid off. The Columbus resident told Ohio officials or lottery officials that he and his wife regularly play, but not randomly. They use special numbers picking algorithm created by his wife's grandmother. Recently, the couple had been praying to win to help fund a nonprofit youth mind builder, which teaches kids financial literacy. He used grandma's system when buying the ticket on February the 15th, even pick 5 drawing Brickstop Mart in Columbus, and it hit. All 5 numbers, 68257. Let's do that again. 68257, landing him the jackpot of $25,000 plus an extra $208.50 from 120 way box set, or box bet, totaling $25,208.50. He says the money will go towards buying computers and games for the nonprofit. So what do you think? Makes it interesting, huh? So you use an algorithm that your grandmother built? Okay. I mean, hey, whatever works. It's 25 G's, however you look at it. That's a good day. Seriously, it's a good day. So there you go. Take a listen to this because I thought this was interesting. Brace yourself because Johnsonville and Keurig Dr. Pepper are teaming up to launch Dr. Pepper inspired, dubbed the Fizzy Glizzy, a new sausage flavor after the soda signature 23 flavor blend. Johnsonville says that it worked closely with Dr. Pepper to translate the sweet and spicy soda profile into swalty, that's sweet and salty just in case, sausage experience. The company admits reaction has been divided. The sausage rolls out on March the 1st nationwide at places like Walmart and 7-Eleven, available fully cooked or uncooked. Johnsonville says that the move builds on its Keep It Juicy campaign aimed to bring people together, ideally over the grill, and apparently over the cola-flavored brat. What do you think here? I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. Like a few days ago, I was having some sausage patty, and they were maple-inspired, and I thought they were terrible. And I like maple syrup. Don't take it the wrong way. I just don't know how this Dr. Pepper thing will go. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. So, because nothing says backyard barbecue like carbonated confusion. And then here's the other thing. If you listen closely, you can hear the cardiologist sigh. And somewhere in Wisconsin, a grill just flinched. And it's not farm to table, it's fountain to fork. And the Roller Grill 7-Eleven just leveled up or down, depending on how you want to look at it. So there you go. some stuff to think about as we are talking. Okay, so I guess we should probably get into some serious business before I get kicked out of the station here in regards to some of the things that are going on, because that's kind of the way that it goes. So take a listen to this, because I guess people will care about this. So the NFL is still waiting for Aaron Rodgers to decide if he's riding off into the sunset or strapping the helmet back on or strapping it back on. The QB reportedly not making any calls until mid-March, according to Insider Adam Schefter, after the Pittsburgh Steelers went 10-7 and then got bounced 30-6 by the Houston Texans in a wild card round. Rodgers has been weighing retirement. Most assumed that he'd either come back to Pittsburgh or call it a career. But now there's a buzz that Minnesota Vikings could re-enter the picture. Rodgers reportedly had interest in Minnesota before the Vikings previously stuck with QB J.J. McCarthy. Questions now is whether they'll still feel that way. So it makes it pretty interesting. I mean, if you care about that stuff, if you don't care about football, I just wasted some of your time, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's talk about this. I don't think that what I'm going to say next, anybody really is surprised, but I figured that it's probably something that we should talk about because it's going to be important. Bill Gates addressed staff during a closed-door town hall at Gates Foundation and acknowledged that his past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein was, in his words, a huge mistake that hurt the foundation's reputation, according to a recording obtained by the Wall Street Journal. Gates said that he met with Epstein from 2011 to 2014. He claimed that he was only vaguely aware of Epstein prior of 2008. His conviction for soliciting a minor, and admitted that he did not thoroughly investigate his background. Gates also continued meeting with Epstein after then-wife Melinda French Gates expressed concerns in 2013. During the town hall, Gates acknowledged having 2 extramarital affairs with Russian women during a period and said that Epstein became aware of them through Gates, a former science advisor. He suggested that Epstein later used that information to pressure him. Gates maintained that he never participated in or witnessed any abuse and never met Epstein's victims and never stayed overnight while traveling with him. He also said that photos of him with the unidentified woman in recent release of Epstein's related files were taken by Epstein's request following meetings. He conceded that the association conflicted with the foundation values, noting that how sensitive its work is to the public trust and reputation. So what do you think? No, like seriously, what do you think? I think it's interesting. I mean, there was just some stuff that came out of those files that you would probably be going, well, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to say some of these things if nothing was going down, as he had stated before. So there you go.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, Rated R Safety Show is this kind of the way that it goes when we start talking about a lot of the stuff that's going on right there. So take a listen to this one. Nearly 25 years after 9/11 leveled the original Twin Towers, the major piece of the World Trade Center rebuild is finally moving forward. Plans that were unveiled for the 2 World Trade Center, 55-story skyscrapers at 200 Greenwich Street, with construction possibly starting as early as the spring. American Express said it will anchor the tower as its new headquarters. Kathy Hochul joined the company's executive for the announcement, calling the project a major economic boost to New York. The tower is expected to create more than 2,000 union construction jobs and about 3,200 total jobs overall. Officials estimate that the building will generate roughly $5.9 billion for New York City and $6.3 billion statewide. The nearly 2 million square foot tower will occupy the northeastern corner of a 16-acre campus, making it the final chapter of the decade-long redevelopment of the World Trade Center site destroyed in the September 11, 2001 terrorist attack that nearly killed 3,000 people. American Express CEO Steven Square described the project as both corporate investment and commitment to Lower Manhattan, where the company has deep roots for nearly 2 centuries. Are you ready for this? This is where it's going to get interesting. The completion is expected in 2031, closing out one of the most significant rebuilding efforts in modern American history. So, not saying that we're going to go from the date, because that's going to be important. But if you're doing a rebuild and you're saying it's going to be 2031, and this happened in, quote unquote, 2001, that means 30 years. 30 years to get this whole sequence together. So, I mean, that's a long-ass time when you start thinking about it. So there you go. But good to hear that it's finally moving forward. That's going to be the important part to take out of that when you start thinking about it. So with that being said, let's move into the next one. Federal officials told state election leaders that this week that the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement will not be deployed to polling places during this year's midterm elections. During a call with State Election Security Administrator Heather Honey, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Elections Integrity at the Department of Homeland Security, called the claims that ICE would show up at voting sites disinformation, not misinformation, disinformation. According to sources familiar with the discussion, a DHS statement afterwards reiterated that ICE is not planning on operations targeting polling locations, though it noted that agents could act if there were any specific public safety threats. So there you go. I mean, think about that for a moment. That's definitely an interesting one as we are talking. So what do you think as you hear that? Because I think that that's going to become an interesting item to discuss as we move forward. So what's your thought process when it's all said and done with that? Or are you looking at it from a different angle? I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question, because I think that that's going to be important as we are talking. So what's your thought process when it's all said and done here? So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about this because some people will care about this. So let's do this. Some Dunkin' locations are apparently testing a 48-ounce iced coffee buckets, according to the viral social post. Customers can fill the bucket with strawberry dragon fruit lemonade refresher for $9.49, blueberry cobbler iced latte for $11.49, or caramel cocoa iced coffee for $8.89. So far, reportedly being tested at select stores in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Not exactly random, since Dunkin' started in Quincy, Massachusetts. Home field advantage for caffeine chaos. The company hasn't confirmed nationwide rollout, but hasn't stopped the internet. Posts about the bucket have racked up millions of views. Some fans are ready to trade their paycheck for one, just saying. And others are asking reasonable questions like, why is anyone drinking 48 ounces of coffee in a day? Is that meaning because it's too little? I mean, I'm just asking because it sounds like that if it's all said and done. Anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so it's about that time to get into the main story of the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt there. So I want you to think about the walls in your corporate break room just for a moment. And I want you to picture the posters hanging above the coffee machine, because we just came out of a coffee story. And you know the ones. They have people in pristine, hard hats smiling at each other, and the bold text that says something like, see something, say something, or we value feedback, or my absolute favorite, psychological safety starts with you. The corporate establishment spends millions of dollars a year designing those posters, and I'm not joking as I say that. They hire consultants to come in and teach speak up culture. They tell frontline workers, we want you to question things and we want your input. But the brutal honest for a second, it's a trap. Let's just be realistic about it, because the system doesn't actually want to be questioned. It wants to be validated. If you raise your hand in a meeting and point out a frayed extension cord or a missing guardrail, the system will applaud you. They will give you a $5 gift card to Starbucks. Well, hopefully in this section, maybe Dunkin', because that's what we're talking about. And put your name in a monthly newsletter. Why? Because you found a localized hazard that they can fix with a work order that you validated the process for. But what happens when you don't question the extension cord? What happens when you question the engine? What happens when you look at the plant manager and say, hey, this new 40-page procedure just rolled out of contradicts the reality of the blue line or the work that we do. And the production schedule that you're attached to is going to get somebody killed. Suddenly, psychological safety evaporates. Suddenly, you aren't an engaged worker anymore. You're a troublemaker. You're not a team player. You are a resistant of change. Why does the system react like that? Why does it punish the very signal it claims that it's looking for? To understand this, we have to look at how simulation operates. Philip K. Dick wrote about these fabricated realities. He called it the Black Iron Prison, a construct designed to keep people asleep and compliant. The corporate bureaucracy isn't a construct. It's artificial reality built on spreadsheets, dashboards, and perfectly written policies. And like any simulation, it is incredibly fragile. It only survives if someone agrees to pretend that the map is the territory. When you ask fundamental questions about why the work is being done in a certain way, you're not just making a comment, you're introducing a glitch in the matrix, or in their matrix in this case. You're forcing executives to confront the mutation, the massive, terrifying gap between their paper fantasy and your operational reality. And the system is immune to response to its attack of the glitch. Thomas Campbell's is a physicist. Physics of consciousness explains this perfectly through a concept called entropy. The system relies heavily on entropy noise. It relies on chaos of endless paperwork, bureaucracy layers, and administrative clutter to hide into its own flaws. If you want confused and overwhelmed, starting with the clipboard instead of the hazard. But a direct, honest question from the blue line, or how the work is done, that is pure low entropy signal. It cuts through the noise. It brings immediate order and truth to the chaotic environment. And the system hates low entropy because truth requires accountability. If they acknowledge your low entropy signal, if they admit that the schedule is mathematically impossible or that the procedure is flawed, they have to take responsibility for it. And it is much easier to just attack you for bringing it up. So they try to force you back into their rigid forms. If you've ever read The Tao of Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee warned us about this. He created the Jeet Kune Do because he saw traditional martial arts had become obsessed with rigid, dead patterns. The masters demanded absolute obedience to the form, even if the form got you knocked out in a real fight. Corporate establishments operate in the same way. Their policies are dead, rigid forms. When you question them, you are acting like water. You are being fluid. You are adapting to the reality of the hazards in front of you. But the system doesn't know how to fight water. It only knows how to demand compliance of a dead form. So when you question the system, you strip away the unessentials. No, seriously. You expose the fact that the emperor has no clothes and that the safety manual has no connection to the blue line. They will try to make you feel crazy for speaking up. They gaslight you. They will send you to the retraining seminar to correct your behavior. Do not let them. You're not the problem. Your institution is, your intuition is not a defect. When you look at the job and your gut tells you that the corporate procedure is a fantasy, that is your human hardware intercepting reality. That is signal, just in case. The system doesn't like to be questioned because the system knows it is built on sand. It knows that the second that the worker stops performing for the dashboard and start demanding the truth, the entire construct collapses. Let it collapse. Keep being the glitch. Keep acting like water. Keep cutting through their high entropy noise with low entropy signal. Ask the hard questions, if I can put it that way. And when they label you as a troublemaker, wear the badge with honor, because the troublemakers are the only ones that are actually keeping the poor people inside of that system alive with what's exactly going on.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Like it's something to aspire to. I just wanna love you for a day. I just wanna
get Okay. You are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. And this right here, this one's titled Love You for a Day by Johnny Cantini. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Just in case. So there you go. Thanks to Johnny Cantini for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Always a good time as we get to play some new style musica for you. No doubt about that. So there you go. Yeah, go ahead and give a little streamer-eamer action if you do not mind, of course, because it is a good one. So there you go. Okay, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that is about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be all kinds of information related to addiction, depression, and anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. TWLOHA.com. Listen, you go there, it can change a lot of things for you if you give it the opportunity to do so, of course. So there you go. Okay, so let's start talking about some other things that are going on. Yes. Conklin Workshop coming up just a little over a month away. I mean, just a smidgen over a month away. Yes. It'll be happening in Santa Fe, New Mexico, March the 31st to April the 1st. The Conklin Workshop will consist of actually looking at how to handle investigations. We'll have Brent Sutton there, Redonda Voigt, and Ann Liren. Of course, Todd Conklin will be there actually doing the whole thing, managing the event in regards to what's going on, because that's just kind of how it goes. They'll go and talk about a firsthand incident that occurred with Redonda Voigt, and they'll start looking at some tools that were developed by Learning Teams Inc. and going in through that whole process. So there you go. That is going on in Hotel Santa Fe, March 31st through April the 1st. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you to the ticketing page. Or you can just go to safetyfm.com and click on where it says live events. And then we have another event coming up this summer. We're calling it the Reality Shift. Yes, that will be taking place in Orlando, Florida, July the 13th of 2026. So it's a one-day only event, that one. Nick Weatherly, Todd Conklin, and yours truly will all be there. And we'll be talking about the different aspects inside of the world of safety. BBS, human and organizational performance, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff coming out of the Signal Trilogy books. Would love to see you there. It's a one-day symposium taking place in Orlando. Yes, it's on a Monday, because I always tell people, if you're going to come to Orlando, you're going to take a look around to see what the hell's going on. So all you have to do is, come in over the weekend, hang out with us that Monday. It'll be definitely a packed day on that one, no doubt there. Would love to see you there, of course. So there you go. Reality Shift. All you have to do is either scan the QR code that's on the screen or go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events. And that will make sure to take care of you in regards to what is going on. So that's it. Those are the two events that we have coming up, and would love to see you there. One in March, and then one towards we'll say the middle of the summer, depending on where you're located. So yeah, workshop style for one, symposium on the other. But the first one will be at a hotel. The second one we're doing at a movie theater location. So yeah, different approach for that one. So there you go. Well, very detailed information on the website in regards of how they both will consist. So there you go. Just some stuff to think about there for a moment. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in some John Smalls, because it seems like it's almost time to go ahead and bring him in and do all the stuff that he does, because he loves talking about the Motivation Minute. And let's go ahead and do that on a Thursday.
Brought to you by JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Niles. Buddha said, "What we think, we become." I love this quote, and I know it to be true. I know people who think positive things and are always looking at ways to be successful. Guess what? They usually are pretty successful. I also know some people who are constantly down in the dumps, very unhappy about one thing or another. Guess what? They keep spiraling downward. I've tried so hard to get one of my friends to change his mindset. He's capable of being happy and positive, but he chooses not to do anything to actually make his situation better. This is something you need to understand. People want to help you, and they want to hang out with you when you're fun to be around. But if you're always moping around and unhappy, people tend to stay away and keep their distance. So take the first step. Smile. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Iran says negotiators heading to Geneva see a good outlook for new nuclear talks with the United States.
Iran's foreign ministry said its team is traveling for discussions focused on its nuclear program. Officials framed the talks as a chance to ease tensions and address sanctions. US and Iranian envoys have been meeting intermittently in recent weeks, often through European intermediaries. Gary Beck reporting.
Brazil is struggling with deadly floods and landslides in Minas Gerais state, where heavy rains have driven families from their homes.
Local officials say dozens of people have died as mudslides swept away houses in hillside communities. Rescue crews are working through the week in dangerous conditions, searching for survivors and recovering bodies. Thousands have taken shelter in schools, churches and public buildings after rivers burst their banks. Chris Anderson reporting.
Sudan's war has opened a pivotal new front in the Kordofan region where drone strikes are intensifying.
Aid groups report rising civilian deaths as drones and artillery pound villages and key roads. Fighting has cut off supply routes, leaving many communities short of food, medicine and fuel. Diplomats are pushing rival commanders to accept another truce after earlier deals quickly collapsed. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A massive blizzard known as the Blizzard of 2026 has buried much of the Northeast under several feet of snow and ice.
The storm has dumped heavy snow from Maryland through Maine, closing schools, highways, and airports. States have issued travel bans and emergency declarations as crews work around the clock to clear roads. Thousands of flights have been delayed or canceled, stranding passengers across major hubs. Kyle Norris reporting.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is warning it may again scale back TSA staffing, raising fresh concern about long airport lines.
Homeland Security officials say they will prioritize standard screening lanes if staffing remains tight, even though TSA PreCheck will stay open for now. The agency had briefly planned to suspend both PreCheck and global entry before reversing course under heavy criticism. A partial government shutdown over immigration funding has already slowed some federal services. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Democrats and allies held a People's State of the Union event in Washington as a protest during President Trump's address to Congress.
Lawmakers and activists gathered on the National Mall to criticize the president's agenda on immigration, health care, and voting rights. Speakers said they wanted to highlight voices they feel were left out of the official speech. The event featured testimonies from families affected by deportations and loss of health coverage. Jessica Oakley, reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Okay, some infiltration and Radio Big is always a good combination of stuff. So let's go ahead and start talking right away. Back on this date, in 1923, Time Magazine debuts. Also in 1976, Walt Disney World logged its 50th. Well, let me rephrase that. The 50 millionth guest to their park. That was in 1976. Also in 1977, future Tonight Show host Jay Leno debuts on Johnny Carson. Also in 1983, the compact disc recording is developed by Philip and Sony, and it's introduced. So there you go. That's something that happened back on this day. And then also in 2021, toy maker Hasbro announces that Mr. Potato Head brand will be changed to be more gender neutral. That happened back all on this date with the year that I told you. Let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Jonathan Cain turned 76. Michael Bolton turned 73. Greg German turned 68. And what else? Nate Ruiz turns 44 today. So there you go. Some things to talk about right there. And let's talk about this one because we need to get into some things that you need to know. The search for Nancy Guthrie is still active, but the daily play-by-play is over. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says that it's scaling back the routine updates in the case for the missing mother of Savannah Guthrie. Nancy was reportedly missing on February the 1st, and authorities have been issuing nearly a daily statement. As of February 24th, they announced that the future updates will only come when these are significant new information to share. Also, Hoda is set to stay in Savannah Guthrie's Today seat for an extended period as the search for the star's mother, Nancy Guthrie, stretches into the fourth grueling week overall, sources tell Page 6. Also, Donald Trump's State of the Union address drew 28 million viewers across 8 major news networks. According to the preliminary data from Nielsen, the final numbers will be available today. Last year, when the president delivered a speech to the joint session of Congress, the final data showed that he drew almost 32 million viewers across those networks. So there you go. Also, in some other news, here's last night's winning Powerball numbers. The jackpot was $218 million. It was 50, 52, 54, 56, 64. And the Powerball was 23. And the Power Play was 2. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours. So we'll talk about the world of safety. No, we won't. They will talk about the world of safety consulting here on Safety FM. We'll talk about the world of music and entertainment if you go over there onto that other side of the equation. So just some stuff to think about as we are talking. I'll give you some weird facts for today. The cockroach has been around for 350 million years and is the oldest insect to exist. So there you go. I don't know why I gave you the weird one, but I did. And here's some words of wisdom. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Well, I think that's a good wisdom for today. And then here's some advice for today. A pre-treatment of a lemon juice and salt helps remove perspiration stains from clothing, just in case you did not know. Wet wipes kind of do the same magical trick, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Time to lose. I'll give this yes to you. No one really knows about the future. They just pretend they do. I just wanna love you for a day. I just wanna give my heart away. Feel your turn in the morning. Then have something real for a moment. I just wanna love you for a day. Please, babe.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, When safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.